What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into Club Jaguar. Wednesday night club is open. Everyone get on in, get your seats, and enjoy a Wednesday night installment, a preseason week 2, and coming upon the final week of the preseason installment of Club Jaguar. Glad to have you guys in here. Of course, going to go ahead and bring in the co-host. We got Jordan DeLuga from JinJag. What's up, Jordan?
Hey, man. Got a boys' night over here. Kara's out of town. She's down in Miami covering practice for us tomorrow.
Nice.
She is down in Miami. So yeah, just me and the kiddo tonight. Decided to pour a little old fashioned. So excited for it.
Nice. I got myself a Michelob, man. It's just these Club Jaguar shows are just so much better with refreshments, right?
You're hydrating.
Hydrating, that's for sure. And next we got to bring in Jason from Jaguars United. What's up, Jason?
I can't believe y'all drink, man. You know that stuff's poison, right? You're just harming yourselves.
It's the worst.
Well, not all of us can be angels like you.
Yeah, that's okay. I try not to judge, but I am excited to be here. And I'm the designated driver in Club Jaguar. You can call me that.
Yeah, we got it. We got to have one. Okay, we got to have one. So we appreciate you taking that role. Okay, but. Yeah, man. So the Jaguars coming off of a probably pretty impressive game against the New Orleans Saints. Of course, the game was tied, but we're not looking at that. We're looking at the first 2 drives from the offense and defense where, pretty much domination. I mean, the offense, we only got in our own way with that weird fumble, but moving the ball really good, and including the defense where they only allowed 1 first down. And, I know we're not going to sit here and over-celebrate or anything, but if the Jaguars would have laid an egg, we would have been really hard on them. So you got to give credit where credit is due after a good game. So Jordan, would love to hear your thoughts about last Sunday, I should say, game against the Saints.
Hey, man. James Gladstone talks about being situational masters. And to me, they were not situational masters in this game. Fumble the ball in the red zone, unforced error. And then end of the game, why are we throwing the football if you're trying to be situational masters? Why do you throw that football? You're in Cam Little's range if you want to kneel it or run the ball. You're well within his range. So James Gladstone was talking about week 1, they felt like they did a really good job with a lot of these situational mastery situations. And they did. They did a pretty good job. Obviously, they messed some things up, but situational wise, they did a pretty good job in some big moments in week 1. And if you're legitimately trying to be situational masters, I don't know how you throw that football. I also don't know how you put a quarterback in that spot that hasn't thrown the football all day if you're actually trying to win the game.
Is there a chance there's like a legitimate, I don't know, but is there a chance there's a legitimate battle for quarterback 2? And
not right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of another reason to bring in Hennigan there at the end of the game besides like kind of seeing what he'll do in that situation. Like, obviously, it's not what they would do in a game as far as like kicking the field goal versus going for it. But that decision was so like overly incorrect that I wonder if they just were trying to see something. I don't know.
That just, again, doesn't add up with the situational mastery comments we heard from James Gladstone a couple days before that.
Yeah, that was really weird to me. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, okay, so you're gonna like shove Mullins and John Wolford down our necks the whole entire game, and all of a sudden with this what less than 2 minutes drill, you're just gonna throw Hennigan in for like one weird drive, and it's like, okay, are they throwing the ball because they want to see more? Well, you could have seen a lot more before then. So it was just, it was very weird. And I mean, obviously wins and losses don't matter, but I mean, it would have been nice to kick you're setting your field goal kicker up to make a 50+ yard, game winner out there. So that was definitely weird. And yeah, the fumble was, once again, I mean, it's 2 weeks in a row where the offense kind of got in their own way. I mean, the penalties happened we've seen 3 total drives from the Jaguars offense, right? And the Jaguars stopped the Jaguars each and every drive outside of course, the touchdown drive. So that's going to be, I mean, we obviously don't know anything about Liam Cohen as a head coach, and I'm not judging him yet. Like, that happened, whatever, we wash it and we get over with. But, that kind of weird situational football, let's see if it, kind of anything pops up in the regular season where we start to raise our eyebrow.
Yeah, overall, it's not a major concern. I just think with the talking point that James Gladstone intentionally made because the team was getting criticized for some of the unforced errors, he was like, "Oh, well, let's pump this thing up that we're situational masters," and then you fall flat on your face in the biggest situation of the preseason so far. So that's the only reason I really care about it because you made it a talking point. No one else was talking about that other than James Gladstone. He made it a talking point, and then that's how they responded. So again, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. And I do think potentially, I saw someone mention this. They didn't play a whole lot of Seth Hennigan because they don't want other teams to see a whole lot of Seth Hennigan.
Yeah, but also, do you think that they were too busy wheeling and dealing trying to get trades to happen?
Hey, look, I was watching the film, and the Saints' backup center is worse than Luke Fortner. Like, I know people are like surprised that they would take Luke Fortner. Luke Fortner is better than the Saints' backup center. There was a couple plays where I was like, "Yeah, I get why they traded for him now. It's pretty bad."
Yeah, and I think he's looked decent in camp and so far with the Jaguars' new regime. Obviously, there was a lot of struggles the last couple years before that, but a lot of the offensive line had a lot of struggles the couple years before that. So I think it was, getting to that trade, I think it was good for Luke to go somewhere where he has a chance to make the roster. The Jaguars got somebody who has a much better chance to make an impact here with Colin Saunders than Luke Fortner. So I think it was a good trade.
Yeah, it was. And especially now you're looking at the Jaguars, like interior depth. I mean, Wyatt Milam, obviously a 3rd-round pick. He's going to be a foundational piece, but also you're seeing a big surprise out of your 7th-round pick, Jonah Monheim, however you say his last name. Usually 7th-round picks, it's kind of an afterthought. You get them, you hope they, make the team for a year, play some special teams, and then, sometimes they're lucky to make it in their 2nd year. But I mean, he actually looks like a legit piece in there, no matter if he's playing center or guard. And I know Jordan put out a tweet that, he thinks that there's a chance that he might actually be the Jaguar starting center in 2026.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, Monheim has a lot of athleticism, and that can be weaponized by a good offensive staff when you have a really athletic center. So his challenge over the next year is going to be getting to a place where his physical traits, which length is not one of them, but he's got pretty much everything else you're looking for at the center position, are able to overcome, and also his mental ability is able to catch up to a point where his physical traits can overtake Robert Hainsey in the starting lineup. Because the reason Robert Hainsey is here is because he has experience in this system, and they feel comfortable with him being able to help Trevor Lawrence and help the rest of the offensive line at the line of scrimmage. And they feel like he can get the job done at an adequate level.
Yeah. And that's exactly what the Jaguars need. They need developmental pieces where every offseason we don't have to sit here and say, should we go break the market and make a guard the highest paid guard in football, right? I mean, the amount of guards that we played from Andrew Norwell to Zane Beadles to, of course, we just got out the Brandon Sheriff thing, and we paid 2 interior linemen. I mean, we weren't breaking the bank with them, but at some point you want to get day 3 guys that turn into starters, and you sit here and say, we have pretty cheap labor here. We can allocate money to other parts of the field, make sure that, our wide receiver ones are getting inside, and make sure our, we got pass rushers in here, our quarterback's getting paid. So that's a big thing there. So Jason, I know you did a whole film breakdown yesterday. You do a great job over on your channel of doing that. I guess from what you saw from the ones on Sunday, give us some overall takeaways.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very critical of 2 groups on this team, even on this show, the offensive line and Trevor Lawrence, and I thought they both looked really good. Obviously, you don't want to see Trevor fumble in that situation. Yeah, people make mistakes. I like to forgive people for making mistakes. It just sucks that the mistake that was made is the moniker Trevor has, is fumbling the ball in crucial situations. It kind of sucks that was the mistake, but I thought outside of that one play, I thought he looked very accurate. I thought his release was really quick. I thought he did a good job taking what the defense was giving him. A lot of people kind of crapped on him for that like baseball turn roll out to the left that he made on that throw to Brian Thomas Jr. on the sidelines, but I thought that was a great play. I mean, I've always said I think he's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen rolling out to his left as a right-handed quarterback, and he just put that ball right where it needed to be. I thought the offensive line looked good. Ezra Cleveland didn't grade out well on PFF, but on the film, he looked pretty good to me. I thought he did a really good job on all the plays that I was watching. So was very impressed with the offensive line, even being limited. Obviously, it was the Saints' backups, but the offensive line and Trevor kind of moved me in the right direction for optimism than when I was headed before that.
Yeah. So, Jordan, your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think that Trevor had a great game other than the fumble, and the fumble was like partially his fault, partially Ezra Cleveland's fault. Obviously, you want Trevor to be able to hold on to that, but there's no reason his foot should be getting stepped on right after the snap.
Yeah. So what's supposed to happen there? Because obviously Trevor Lawrence probably always puts his foot there. Does Ezra Cleveland, was he pulling that play? Was he not supposed to? I guess
it was a down block, and either Ezra Cleveland stepped too wide outside of his frame, or Trevor didn't take his step quick enough. It was, that happens, I guess.
Bang, bang.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Liam Cohen did say, Trevor got to eat that. Can't fumble it. So he put some of the blame there on Trevor for sure. And I got criticized on Twitter for doing the same thing, but
you got
it is what it is
on Twitter.
Yeah. So I thought he had a really good game. As you mentioned, he kind of had that play where he escaped out to the left and found Brian. There was good protection on that play, but it was kind of a weird play, like in terms of how it sequenced out. It looked like he was initially looking at Brian Thomas Jr. because he had a one-on-one, and then he didn't like what he saw. He moved off of it. But on the other side of the field, there was a tight end and a back that looked like they were out to, kind of run a pseudo sort of screenplay.
Yep.
And Trevor didn't look over there at all. So I don't know if he was supposed to look over there immediately if Brian Thomas Jr. wasn't in the one-on-one situation that he liked, or what was supposed to happen there. But it looked like a little bit of a broken play. But I gave Trevor credit for making a good play out of what seemed like kind of a little bit of a wonky situation. And I feel the same way about the throwaway in the red zone where I can't remember who it was, but they got beat quickly, and Trevor Lawrence had to get rid of the football. He kind of gave Brian Thomas Jr. a chance to go get it, but he also threw it to a spot where, like, if BTJ wasn't going to get it, no one was going to get it in the back of the end zone. So I like to see that. I like to see how he stepped up in the pocket when Robert Hainsey got crushed by an interior pass rusher, and interior pass rusher had him dead to rights. He kind of side skirted to the left, stepped up in the pocket, moving forward, delivered it to Brenton Strange, coming back across his progression. So there were so many good things to like from Trevor Lawrence in this game. But the offense has to get out of their own way. That's been an issue for the Jaguars for years. It's been an issue in the first two games of the preseason, and they have been going against backups in both games. So that needs to be, acknowledged at the very least.
Yeah. And one thing I really like about Trevor Lawrence, just seeing him through this offseason or just this preseason, is, man, like, he just seems, his footwork in the pocket just seems really good right now. And then, like, I feel like
confident.
he's looking confident. He's like looking through his reads a lot better. And I know it's preseason, so I'm not trying to like say like, oh, he's really turned a leaf. Like, he's made it to this point, but like, because obviously we need to see, not only in the regular, because we've seen him game to game here, but we need to see him on a consistent basis where week in, week out, that's what we expect, right? We don't see, and there's gonna need some help there. I mean, offensive line needs to continue to at least be mid-range, right, and be able to hold up and be able to allow him to feel comfortable in that pocket. But it's I know from what I've seen from Trevor Lawrence, is definitely exciting, and I mean, hopefully he can kind of keep going throughout the regular season.
Are you like, this is a thought I had, and again, you guys know me. I have these like intrusive thoughts, and I just dwell on them, and I suppress them, and then I bring them out and see what y'all think.
I haven't noticed that at all.
All right, I had this intrusive thought that, like, I think Trevor's always had good footwork, to be honest with you. I know Liam Cohen talked about footwork and improving his footwork when he got here. So a lot of people have jumped onto that as being something they like. But from watching Trevor every snap he's ever played, I've never had a problem with his footwork, like specifically. Trevor, to me, is a guy for 30 straight passes, looks really, really good. And then that 31st pass is a dumbass throw. It's an interception. Is there a chance that like we just haven't seen 31 passes from Trevor Lawrence yet? Like, again, intrusive thought. Like, is there a chance we just haven't seen 31 passes from Trevor Lawrence yet? You see what I'm asking here?
Yes, for sure. I agree with you regarding his footwork. I don't think it's ever been a major issue. I think it has broken down at times when he loses confidence and when he's playing injured, which, that happens.
Yeah.
He played injured a lot of the last 2 seasons. I think that the footwork thing really was more about his footwork within the context of this scheme and within the context of these route progressions.
Sure. Yep.
So that's, getting him to have a base that aligns with where he's getting to in the progression. That's honestly how I think about it. And then also, switching up the pre-snap footwork from the gun, going left foot forward, things like that. But yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence does have a propensity to make a boneheaded play every once in a while. And I think this offense is going to help him not do that as much, because you haven't seen that as much in training camp either. Going against a starting defense, he's been much, much cleaner with the football this year than any other training camp I have seen from him.
And I think with his, sorry.
We'll see.
And I think we'll see. What I've seen from him is like, it felt like at the beginning of last year, and I've kind of tried to wash this from my memory, but it felt like things started off really good, right? But then it got to a point where the offensive line was just playing so bad to where like he regressed. But then all of a sudden the offensive line started playing better, but he was almost playing quicker. So he wasn't used to the adjustment. And then he actually did get used to it. And then quickly, like we were 0-4, right? So, the footwork, while it hasn't necessarily been a problem, it's just been, I think, like what Jordan said, just the confidence thing. I mean, you don't have the running game there. When you've had a running game in 2022 and things were like a lot better, he was playing with a lot more confidence and just really trusting his supporting cast a lot more. And obviously I think the coaching was a lot better. The fact that like Brian Thomas Jr. never really felt like that much of a part of the game plan until like late November, where they started really manufacturing touches for him, like in the first quarter. I saw the stat and like, I know that there's Daniel Griffiths that puts out a lot of good stuff on Twitter. Like he
gotta follow him.
Yeah, you got to follow him. But he put out something where it was like Brian Thomas Jr.'s like first quarter targets or receptions. It's like, it's extremely like low. Like it's pretty jarring that like the Jaguars.
I might be wrong, but I think it was like 5% of his production came in the first quarter.
Yeah. So it was like, it was like you got to, your first drive or two is scripted, right? Like you would think that at least throw a bubble screen his way. Like, and they started doing that later on, but it was like, Mac Jones is our quarterback. Like, why couldn't we have paired this up with when Trevor Lawrence was playing? So I don't know. The last year, there were just so many variables working against Trevor Lawrence. And of course, Trevor Lawrence working against himself when it comes to just the injury stuff. But I'm ready to like get the excuses out of the door, because, I like to criticize Trevor Lawrence as needed, but it's also like, look at all the things working against him at the same time. That's why it's nice to wipe our hands clean. We got a new head coach. We got weapons for him. We have an offensive line that to me looks good enough to where he should be able, like, it's not like we have a dog shit offensive line, right? I mean, I think it'll at least be like, mid tier, and that's good enough, right? So we'll see.
And Liam Cohen elevates the offensive line. Yeah. Tampa had a really good offensive line last year, more talent last year than the Jags do on the offensive line. But that offensive line, which was almost the same group as the year before, they drafted Christian Barton, who as a rookie had highs and lows, right? The center who replaced Robert Hainsey. But I still think when Liam Cohen got there, they were much better than they were under Dave Canales, who's coming in here in a few weeks.
Wait, okay. I'm glad that you brought this up because one of the biggest things from the film that kind of goes with the offensive line was like Brenton Strange, Hunter Long, and Johnny Munt. There were several plays where they one-on-one to D end and did a great job. Like Liam Cohen might know what he's doing with this tight end group because those guys are like extensions of the offensive line. And there were several plays. There was a play where Johnny Munt like kick stepped and blocked a D end, like it gave Trevor a pocket. I was like, this is a tight end. So like,
yeah,
that gives me more optimism about the offensive line. Is kind of like Jordan had said, Liam Cohen will help this offensive line by doing stuff like that. I was very impressed with that.
Yeah, and Quentin Morris is a good blocker too. I don't know how many tight ends they keep. My guess is 4, since they're probably going to be in 12 personnel like 15 to 20% of the time. So Quentin Morris would be the 4th tight end in that setting as well. I do think, ironically, the play I was talking about in the red zone was when Brenton Strange was one-on-one with the defensive end, and it didn't go very well. But
he's probably the worst blocker of the group, but he's the
right.
best
But he's also
of the group, right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. He's a really good space blocker. He's really good on the move. I think he's still working in line.
This guy Jordan knows what he's talking about. This guy knows what he's talking about.
I want to see you guys fight and have my friends text me and be like, dude, do they like each other? Or
I only don't like when Jordan shows a minute before the show starts. That's the only thing that pisses me off. Right? It's boys' night. All right, dude. You a minute before the show? What are we doing here?
Dude, Jordan's
I had to get my boy to bed. I had to make sure that Murray was in the room so she doesn't go crazy and start whining at his door and wake him up.
I'm just kidding.
So yeah. So I want to transition this because speaking of of Twitter, I got dragged yesterday on Twitter, right?
Oh, no.
And
you did? That's
rare.
rare.
I started something I didn't mean to start, and it totally unraveled into something ridiculous. So Jordan tweeted out, because Jordan goes to all the practices, goes great play-by-play, that Trevor Lawrence threw a ball to Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. dropped it, and Trevor thought it was 6, right? And I saw that, and I've been hearing a lot about Brian Thomas Jr.'s drops, right, throughout this training camp. And, I even remember last year where Brian Thomas Jr., particularly in the red zone, wasn't the cleanest at catching the ball. Not only did he have some drops, but he had some pretty easy touchdowns that he kind of double clutched, right? That didn't really come down clean with, but did eventually end up in touchdowns. And mind you, his injury in 2024 was due to him not catching the ball clean and the ball landing on his ribs and him hurting himself. So when I saw that, I have extremely high expectations for Brian Thomas Jr. I'm treating him like the top 5 receiver that I want him to be. So I saw Jordan's tweet and I said, this is a mega concern. And was it hyperbole? Probably. Mega concern? I wouldn't say it's mega concern. I saw the tweet. I looked at it. I took 3 seconds. I closed my phone. I don't have Twitter notifications. 30 minutes later, people were tweeting at me. They're subtweeting me, acting like, oh, Jags fans don't appreciate a wide receiver 1. They don't know how bad we've had it. Guys, nobody wanted Brian Thomas Jr. on this team more than me. Last year, we were debating, do we go wide receiver, cornerback, first round? I was saying wide receiver all the way, and not only wide receiver, I was saying Brian Thomas Jr. Give me this guy over A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, all that. I am a huge Brian Thomas Jr. fan, and I have all the hope in the world and belief in the world in him. But to sit here and say that, we can't criticize him and that he's a flawless wide receiver in year 2, it's far from the truth. Okay, he has plenty of things to work on. I think number 1 is probably is him and his drops, particularly in the red zone. So that's something that he has to get better at. And I don't know, with Jordan, you've been in all these practices. Obviously, he hasn't dropped anything in a game in 2025, but we've seen.
He did last week.
He did last week.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen debatably 2 in the preseason games, 3 drives and 2 drops, right? One of them, you could, the hospital ball. Maybe we don't count that. So one,
that's not a drop.
We do not count that. Yeah.
So
last week he had an easy drop, the first throw of the game.
Easy drop. So Jordan, you've been all the practices. Is this any bit of a concern for you?
It's got to be a nuanced conversation, in my opinion, because if I was, I don't know, someone who's never seen Brian Thomas Jr. play football before. And I was just watching all these practices. I would probably say, why are they throwing the ball to this guy so much? Honestly.
Wow.
But I have seen Brian Thomas Jr. play football before. I've also seen him practice before. He's not a great practice player. And he's pushing himself to be better in practice. He's getting frustrated. He's trying, right? But he is just not a very good practice player. This goes back before last year. He struggled when he got here. Everything we heard from LSU as well, he wasn't a great practice player. What happened at LSU when he actually got on the field? He dominated.
Pretty good.
He scored the most touchdowns in college football of any receiver. What happened when he got on the field for the Jaguars? He dominated. So I'm not going to worry one bit about Brian Thomas Jr. until he gives me reason to worry on a Sunday when it matters.
Another thing that helps is that out of all the positions in football, receiver seems to be the most like steady. Like if you're a good receiver, you don't typically drop off very quickly. You see it at corner a lot. You see it at running back a lot. You see it at quarterback often. At receiver, you kind of are what you are. You know, you can get better, obviously.
Unless
but
you're
like,
a Jaguars receiver.
Well,
Allen Robinson, 1,400 yards. DJ Chark, 1,000 yards. He's gone team to team. I know.
Well,
Brian Thomas Jr. is a different specimen.
A-Rob was good after he left Jacksonville, too.
Right.
I mean, he was a very good receiver for the Bears.
Right. And DJ Chark, you know, again, injuries can hit anybody. Yeah. But I'm just talking more like skill level. Obviously, anyone can get injured, but like that's, I guess, to answer your question, Dalton, the reason why I'm not concerned, like Jordan said, we've seen it, and we've seen a full season of work from him. And like receivers aren't typically like boom or bust from year to year. Like they're typically are what they are. I mean, even a guy like Gabe Davis, who had flashing moments, was a flashing moments guy. You know what I mean? So it's like you with receivers, to me, it's kind of like you are what you are. Your quarterback can help, your game plan can help. But yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., the reason why I think Jags fans probably jumped on you, because you know I try to be a rational, critical thinker, is like after Trevor's kind of dipped a bit, Josh Hines Allen dipped a bit, Brian Thomas Jr. is like the one player Jags fans are like, this is like our guy. He's like the best player on our team relative to the whole league. So criticizing that guy to fans never goes over well. But I'm glad that for once in your life, Dalton, that Twitter turned against you. I know that doesn't happen very often. It's never happened before. So I'm glad that it happened to you.
Twitter is usually such a nice, positive space for me. Just nothing but like, you know, really nice people with their faceless profiles. You know, the picture of Brian Thomas Jr. With high contrast, saying just the nicest things in the world to me. Right.
Justin Blackman. That's in the comments. That's a pull there. Maybe I'm wrong because I forgot about Justin Blackman.
Well, no, I mean,
speaking of drinking a Club Jaguar,
Howard, Jimmy Smith, Matt Jones. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah. So, that one was, Brian Thomas Jr. I don't mega concern. That's hyperbole. And look, last year, Brian Thomas Jr. might have arrived in joint training camp practices against the Buccaneers.
He did.
I went to that one. That was the one practice I went to, and oh my God, he was insane that practice. Like he looked like we had Jamar Chase out there, like before we knew what he was. It was insane.
Yeah, and speaking of Jamar Chase, that's another player got criticized early on in his career during practice.
And we're talking about practice.
I'm not worried at all about Brian Thomas Jr. I agree with you that he wasn't perfect last year. There were times where he should have caught the ball more cleanly. My biggest thing with him is I want him to be so locked in this offense that he doesn't have any plays where he is the reason that Trevor Lawrence threw an interception. Because that happened at least 3 times last year.
Right.
That's true.
Right. Like, especially when you get into Doug Peterson loved the option routes. And when you get in some of these option routes, you got to be on the same page. And receiver runs a post option and there's Trevor's throwing the vert. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Just don't let that
or
be
just like not the right depth on a deep over,
right.
or releasing inside when you have to release outside for the route
Mhm.
concept to work coming across the field. So that's what I really want to see from him.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, and I want to stick on the wide receivers. We see the super chats, guys. We'll get to them in a moment, but I want to stick on the wide receiver thing. So, I was one that obviously like we thought Joshua Cephas had a shoe in to make the roster, and he was gonna be the wide receiver 5. It looks like he had did he have an injury today, Jordan, at practice, or was it a
No,
previous one?
it must have been yesterday.
Yeah,
Because he did not practice today. I actually literally right 1 minute before the Jaguars tweeted out that they were waiving Joshua Cephas with an injury designation, I dropped a video talking about position battles, and I said, as much as I thought Josh Cephas was locking up that wide receiver 5 job, he didn't practice today. And over the last couple weeks, Trent Irwin and Austin Trammell continue to make plays. And so I was like, I don't know that the Jaguars will keep 6 wide receivers. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if they only keep 5, which one of these guys is going to make it? Well, it's not going to be Joshua Cephas because he has an injury. And they brought back Darius Lassiter, who was on the bottom of the roster, then got cut, and now he's back. So,
Have you ever been with a girlfriend and you break up and then you like get back with her and you're like, oh, to work this time, and then it doesn't work and you're like, I'm an idiot. Like, why did I do that? Maybe I'm the only one.
all the time.
That's Joshua Cephas to me. And that's why I was like, okay, we did this same thing last year. We did this same thing last year. Joshua Cephas was the camp darling. He's going to make the roster. He's going to impact the team. He's going to be the one undrafted free agent or the training camp darling that kills it. And we were wrong. So this year I tapered my expectations. And so I am not disappointed by this news. Was kind of expecting it. Fool me twice. Shame on me.
yeah, I didn't know if he was going to make the team healthy.
Right.
For sure. Like I thought early on in camp, I mean, he was just doing
He
too
started
well.
off pretty hot, right?
But it's been a lot more Austin Trammell and Trent Irwin lately.
Yeah.
I will say, talking about a receiver people get excited about in training camp, Parker Washington is having a hell of a couple weeks. And
although on his touchdown, one of the worst tackling exhibitions I've ever seen in my life, still
hey man,
take that
you can't
out.
Control your opponent.
That's true. But yeah, you're right. He's looked really good.
Yeah. So
he had a great touchdown catch today, contested against Jordan Lewis. And if y'all have paid attention to training camp, it is very difficult in the red zone to get anything against Jordan Lewis. Tight spaces, Jordan Lewis is a lockdown, aggressive defender at the point of catch point. And that was a really impressive play. The entire offense celebrated that play. Like they were like, damn, that was a hell of a catch.
And I was one that, because I'm not at training camp, so I had to judge everything based off of like what I see in the preseason. And I was wondering, like, before the Cephas thing, is the wide receiver 6 even on the roster right now, right? Because I was, from what I've seen of Trammell and Irwin and stuff, like I think you could put those guys on practice squad. I don't know if anybody's going to be not like trying to really claim them, So I
agree.
So then, with that case, like, there might be a team that, every year there's like a surprise wide receiver cut, it feels like. And the Jaguars have a pretty, high waiver priority. I don't know if it's 4th or 5th or wherever. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's pretty high. So I don't know.
Right?
I would think, unless they're tied with somebody, but you would think it'd be 5th, right? So I would think that the Jaguars, I kind of think that they might only keep 5 receivers and might try to keep, because right now we have that log jam in the safety room, right? Maybe they want to keep 4 tight ends. It just depends on like, what do you want your wide receiver 6? Like, do you want, a big, tall, like, I mean, special teams, but do you want a gunner? Do you want a returner if Parker Washington goes down?
Yeah.
I mean, there's different roles of special teams there. And, I don't know what they're going to be looking for. And I don't know with the way the roster is constructed. Like I said, there's a log jam in the safety room. Travis Hunter gives you kind of an extra bonus roster spot in a sense. Do you want to keep 3 or 4 tight ends? We'll see.
And you can also think about Bashal Tootin, LeQuint Allen, Brenton Strange, Travis Etienne. All of these guys can also play receiver for you in some form or fashion.
I thought you were
Dearness
going to say
Johnson.
kick returner until you said Brenton Strange, and I was like, okay, wait, never mind.
Well, that too. But yeah, special teams wise.
Just when the game is on the line, don't line up Bashal Tootin like you did Dearness Johnson and throw a back shoulder fade to try to win the game.
If
That's
the
all I
game's
ask.
on the line, you bring in Seth Hennigan. That's a clear choice. I
And
don't know.
Quentin Morris.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do got to give that guy a lot of credit. I mean, the last 2 weeks late in the game, he's making crazy catches. I mean, that was an amazing throw by Seth Hennigan. Like,
okay. Along those same lines, this was another thought I had. Like, you guys know me. Listen, this is my therapy. I appreciate y'all. With Parker Washington playing so well, if we see during the season De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr. just absolutely crushing it at receiver, do you think to yourself, all right, let's save Travis Hunter a bit more for defense if that's the situation? Or do you still lean a little more toward offense?
First of all, I'm so glad it's not going in the direction I thought it was going. I thought you were going to be like, dude, trade De'Ami Brown at the trade deadline. I was
No,
like,
come on.
I was going to be like, don't be one of those guys. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Travis Hunter, I think is special. I want him on it. But at the same time, like, I think year one, I think he's might be a better cornerback. That's the thing. So I don't know. Jordan, I'll let Jordan answer this one. That's a good question.
no.
No. Just no.
What would
reasoning? Just no.
What would Ryan Clark do? Is my question.
No, my reasoning is I don't believe in De'Ami or Parker enough.
Okay.
And my other reasoning is I think they're going to play him a lot on both sides regardless. I think this man's getting ready to play 80% on both sides.
I love that. Me too.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So
Like,
that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. That's what I'm thinking, what I'm hearing. And
okay, so let me re-ask in your, because I created a hypothetical and you kind of skirted it. Okay. In my hypothetical, De'Ami Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., and Parker Washington are playing lights out. Rather than 80-80, do you do 160 if those three guys are just balling?
I'm playing Travis Hunter.
God.
I just maybe matchup dependent. Honestly, I mean,
if he's equal of a player as, say, like a Garrett Wilson, are you going to take Garrett Wilson off the field because you have a little speedy receiver in De'Ami Brown?
It's a little bit insulting, but I hear you.
If your corners are just costing you games,
well, you're keeping.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like in this hypothetical, how is Jarian playing? How is Tyson playing? Is Buster Brown healthy?
Yeah,
Well, we need a difference maker in the secondary, because what injury is Tyson Campbell going to be dealing with in week 8?
Week 8. Wow, you're nice.
Well, we already
preseason week 1.
Right now he's dealing with what
team today.
Well, right now he's dealing with what a knee that'll heal up, but he'll find another injury. He always will. It'll be a groin, and we're going to be like week to week, and it's a headache with him. We all know that the Tyson Campbell stuff going on. So I don't know, Jason. You're bringing the heaters right now. Okay,
listen, this is what I do,
and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
What happens when you show up to the pre-show meeting, and you're prepared and ready to go. This is what happens. You're just ready to go.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in 30 minutes early. Yeah, we got a lot of work done.
We do. I had to, we had to get our notes straight.
It was a Let's Stump Jordan session.
Yeah. I want Travis Hunter helping Trevor Lawrence. Bottom line.
Very political answer. And speaking of political answer,
come on, I'd rather him.
How's that political?
Tekken is my world says, here's a fun fact for y'all. The Houston Texans have their worst years in post-election years. So there's a chance history might not be on their side. And these are the stats that I'm here for. Okay.
I love that.
All right.
I want to hear your thoughts, Jordan.
Jags won't make the playoffs till 2027.
I don't like that.
If we're going with
every 5 years? Is that what you're going for?
2022 was a fluke. They normally make the playoff every 7. 97, 07, 17, 2027.
Yeah, but we also made it in 2017, 2022. So 5 years after 2022 is 2027. I don't know.
Yeah, 2022 was a fluke, like I said.
I don't know. I like taking in my world stat.
You know what's funny is the flukes. What's the common denominator? Is Trevor Lawrence has been our quarterback, so maybe Trevor Lawrence is probably the best gifted passer the Jaguars have ever had, like naturally gifted.
Facts.
Hey, don't.
I mean,
talk
Matt
down the
Jones
boat like that.
Matt Jones, second Matt Jones reference tonight. Pretty gifted at quarterback. If you watch those Arkansas highlights.
I mean, have we forgot about gosh, what was that guy's
Mark?
name that played it? What was that guy's name that played at Auburn that played like cornerback for us? Somebody.
Oh yeah. Nick
Marshall.
Nick Marshall.
Yeah, don't disrespect the high. What did he win a national championship or did he lose in a national championship? I don't know, man.
No, Cam Newton won the 90 there.
What about Denard Robinson?
Yeah,
good point.
Shoelaces.
That's a good point.
So talking about gifted passers, I mean, these guys were electric. So
I'm sure one of those white wide receivers we have played quarterback in college. I don't know facts, but I would imagine they probably did.
Yeah, they always play them at like what Elon University or some weird stuff.
Probably also played lacrosse. They were probably pretty good at lacrosse too.
Pretty good at lacrosse.
So Nick Mullins isn't in the running.
Nick Mullins is not. Unfortunately, noodle arm quarterbacks are not in this conversation.
Yeah, I don't think anything drives you more nuts than a noodle arm quarterback. Like, I'd rather a big arm quarterback that's just like throwing into the chest of linebackers than like these guys that are like putting it all into 30-yard throws.
How the hell did that pass get completed 100 long?
100 long's a dog.
Dog.
I could not believe that. I thought it was going to be picked for sure.
We'll move on to the next one. Shane says, can Jordan DeLuga make shirts that say, I got Narcan at Club Jaguar?
I actually laughed at that when I saw that. I just couldn't hold it in.
Jordan and I got secret drop.
Jordan and I got a collab on some merch maybe this year. Would you guys be interested in Club Jaguar merch? Let us know. Let us know by liking and being here every Wednesday. That'd be great.
That would definitely have to be a link only type of drop.
Oh yeah,
not sharing that on social media.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you're gonna get his media credentials taken away. I mean, Travis Hunter doesn't drink on game days because he's afraid of his credentials getting taken away. So it's high standards over here for the Jaguars. So
right.
B News says BTJ is overhyped. He got garbage yards at the end of the year. I don't know about this one.
No.
A lot of them were one score.
Did you see his first game? Did you see his first touchdown?
It's pretty impressive. What about the Colts?
Pretty freaking impressive.
Colts game was impressive. Yeah, I agree to disagree on that one, but we so.
I mean, his numbers did get inflated at the end of the year when they actually started targeting him like double digits, right?
Yeah, when they actually like started throwing bubble screens his way.
Oh, imagine throwing the ball to a receiver. That's crazy.
But he was balling out, throughout the season. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
he had a touchdown in week 1, 4 for 4, 47 yards. The next week he had 94 yards. In week 4 against Houston, he had 86 yards and a touchdown. Week 5 against the Colts, 122 yards and a touchdown. Week 7, 89 yards and a touch. I mean, come on.
And also, I know he's had his like red zone drops, but one thing that's been impressive is his deep ball catches, right? I mean, he's caught some deep balls that like the one against the Browns. There was one against oh gosh, I forget. There was another
the Patriots
one. Yeah, the Patriots.
Gonzalez.
The Patriots just there's been those throws where it's like, I'm not going to call any receivers, but in the past they've dropped them, right? And
he tracks the ball well. He tracks the ball real well in the air.
And for as much, you can say he double caught the ball and stuff, it did not cost him last year very often. He only dropped 6.5% of his catchable targets, which that is a number that's like lower than anything Christian Kirk ever posted in Jacksonville, way lower than Calvin. Like, I mean,
that's the amount of chicks that give me their number at the bar. So it's pretty low. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And how about, 50% contested catch rate? I mean,
hey, Jordan, don't talk about Christian Kirk. He might quote tweet you. Okay, so
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, we don't want a repeat of that. Shout out to Max. He says, "Who is RB1 at the end of the season?" I'm on the Tootin train, man.
end of the year, Tootin for sure, because that's what they want. They brought this guy in. They like him a lot. I think he's the most complete back they have. I think what's really been cool about seeing him in preseason so far is you haven't even gotten to see like the real open field explosiveness. You've just seen like a tough runner who has pretty good vision, who keeps those legs churning and kind of finds little holes to squirt through. But like he has the juice to open it up huge in the open field.
Did any of y'all's thoughts or opinions change at all about ETN after last week? Did you get a little bit of hope after seeing him take that screen across the field? Anything change for you?
How's Bigsby?
Okay, Bigsby. Well, ETN had a good game.
Yeah.
But did anything change? Anything change on ETN for you?
I like Travis Etienne. I just don't. He doesn't have great vision, but I like everything else about his game. I mean, I think he'd be effective pass game back. I think you get him the ball in space and you can have explosive plays all over the place. And then if you actually block for him, open up a hole for him like you did on Sunday, yeah, he can get the job done in a big way. And when he gets to the second level, he's really difficult to get hands on and to get down.
Yeah, because he falls to the ground.
No, he broke 2 tackles. After Britton Strange opened up a hole for him, he broke 2 tackles.
I saw 2 plays where my boy avoided contact and went to the ground, which I get it. You're injured, but not what you want in a back.
ETN is injured?
Oh, he's an injury history.
Oh, okay. It's like,
yeah, sorry.
What do I miss? But yeah, I thought he had a good game. Lee Quint had a good game. He hurdled somebody, but then he also fell in the open field for no reason. So yeah, I like this group of backs. I really do.
I like Tootin because, I mean, first of all, he's kind of the unknown, right? But also he's got the speed, he's got power. I hope that he has vision. I hope he can hang on to the ball as well, because I know that was a knock on him. I really like Tank Bigsby as like a runner. I still have trust issues with him, right? Like, is he still going to fumble the ball? Is he going to drop, balls out there? I don't know, but I know, I don't know. Tootin right now is a shiny new toy, and he hasn't wronged me yet. So
he hasn't hurt me. He hasn't broke my heart yet.
He hasn't hurt me. ETN broke me about a year ago, right? Week 1 against Miami Dolphins. And he also followed me on Twitter and then unfollowed me too.
That was Doug.
No. ETN.
It was Doug that fumbled at the 1 yard line. I forgot about that.
It was Doug that couldn't fucking get over it. Like, you don't need to behave like a fan if you're a head coach.
Yeah, but ETN followed me on Twitter and then unfollowed me.
I do that all the time when I get mad at you.
Is that why I always get notifications? Jaguars United is
it's the only way I can show my emotions. Okay.
Yeah. I thought you were just doing that so I'd follow you back.
Oh, but, yeah. One day you will.
One day he'll notice. You know what? I'll give this guy a follow back.
This guy.
Oh man. But okay, we got Augustin with a $10 donation. He says, sorry, Jordan, the Jags made the playoffs in 96, 97, 98, 99, 05, 07, 17, 22. 99 was the best playoff game I saw where we demolished the Dolphins 62-7 the last season in Marino, and then we lost to the Titans.
What happened next? Yeah.
So
Jordan's always got to come back. Can't be wrong. Can't be wrong, Jordan.
Jordan now
realistically,
like
I wasn't saying the Jaguars have never made the playoffs outside of a 7. I was saying they have made the playoffs in every 7.
I don't know. You're kind of slowly looking like the dumbest guy on the panel, Jordan.
Yeah. How does that feel? You replaced me.
Quick.
Just
what do we see? 97, 07, 17. What's next?
There are a lot of 7s in there. We haven't missed a 7 yet.
That's what I'm saying, y'all. That's literally all I'm saying.
Haven't missed a 7.
Whoever it was brought up like the Texans always being bad after election years or some crap like that. So I brought up the 7s.
Hey, it's good to see an 05 in there. Okay, so
I apologize.
20-year anniversary of making the 2005 playoffs.
If they would have made it in 95, then we could be cooking with something here. But
I know.
I saw a clip today on social media of that Steelers-Jags game where Rasheed Mathis had 2 interceptions. And Maurice Jones-Drew had it was a kick or a punt return to like the 5-yard line. I just saw a clip of that today. It was kind of Jack Del Rio on the sidelines. That was what a thing of beauty that was.
Only team to beat the Steelers at their
Twice.
home stadium twice in a season.
Twice. Yes.
And something's
Nobody's
also
done
to
it
be-
once. The Jaguars have done it twice.
and also something to be said. Like if Jack Del Rio's wearing that full suit, you know he's about to whoop some ass.
Well, I liked that. I
Yeah,
thought
that
that
was-
made him look professional.
You know he's about to whoop somebody's ass.
Bro,
when you're
Jack Del
wearing that.
Rio. If you were to put all Jaguars coaches in their prime, because I know Tom Coughlin's old, put all Jaguar coaches in their prime, Jack Del Rio is coming out of that cage match the winner by a mile.
Oh yeah.
Doug Marrone may have a shot. Big body boy, he is. Jack Del Rio's coming
I'd take Jack for sure.
out. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Doug's got too much like honey bear in him, you know.
Yeah.
I think Jack Del Rio's got that what Tom Coughlin would call grit.
Yeah.
So
Mel Tucker, sneaky underdog pick.
Ooh, Mel Tucker is a sneaky
Interim head
underdog.
coach Mel
Sneaky
Tucker.
underdog picking Mel Tucker.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's true.
JDR was a good NFL linebacker, so
That's true.
He's
I
good
think
coach.
you give it to him.
He had a great career coaching.
He
Yeah,
did.
it's just like with so many of the Jaguars coaches, the end was he wasn't pulling his weight at the end.
Yeah. But also
A
there
lot
was
of things weren't going right around here. At the end.
but also it was never good like I don't know if we've ever had good synergy with like the front office and coaching staff. There's always just been weird fall offs there, so I don't know.
Yes.
So we got another one from Shane who says, what makes your guys happier? Cam Robinson sucking butt in Houston or the Colts staying Danny Dimes as quarterback one? I was shocked at the Danny Dimes thing. I thought they would give Anthony Richardson the opportunity before closing the book on him, but were you guys at all shocked by that?
I wasn't shocked, but I thought, how do you expect to survive this season if you're Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard?
I thought he was the only shot, right? I mean, that's the quarterback they drafted, right?
I
Like,
think
you literally went all in on Anthony Richardson, and you never gave him a shot.
they gave him a shot. I think they gave up on him too early. He's 23 years old. But I think by doing what they're doing, they're actually probably saving their jobs, if you ask me. Like,
Okay.
if they
I
went
understand what
all
you're
in
saying
on,
for sure, but I just don't agree.
if they went all in on Anthony Richardson again and he was terrible, then I think they get fired. But if they're like, yeah, we messed up, Danny Dimes comes in and wins them 7 to 8 games, I think they keep their job.
You think they keep their jobs if they win 8 games?
Yeah. With Danny Dimes and yeah, I mean, I don't know.
No way. That's
guess
literally all they've done is they're just like average every year.
I think Daniel Jones is better than Anthony Richardson. So
I-
just for win wise, it's probably the best move.
I don't.
I think the Colts' issue is they're always like, 3 losses worse than the Steelers. So, like, the Steelers always make the playoffs and are out of it. But the Colts are always like 7-10. So they're just never in a good range to really get a good big difference maker. And I just think, like, I don't know. I think they'd be such better served as like just bottoming out and cleaning a bunch of things up. They got new ownership, get a new quarterback with the pick, get a new head coach. But
Guys,
I don't know.
we made the right decision. We went with Daniel Jones. If you're the owner, does that make you want to keep them?
I bet you he gets you more wins than if Anthony Richardson's the quarterback.
But the problem is that he's the other option.
Is Daniel Jones not the
They
most
have
like
put
Colts
themselves in this
quarterback ever?
situation where it was Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones.
Yeah, they did. But it's the situation they're in. And I think
By their own creation.
but it is what it is. You can't go back in time. And the situation they're in now is that. And I think the best decision wins wise is Daniel Jones. I think he gets you the most wins. And for a team that's playing in week 17 every season to make the playoffs, why not give it a try?
I think you could have done a lot this offseason to do better than Daniel Jones.
That's true. I don't know. We'll see. I just Colts fans aren't optimistic about this year. I don't really blame them, but maybe Shane Steichen, maybe they see a pathway in, and if they really do think that they're a playoff caliber team, I mean, they make moves. I mean, they boosted up the secondary. They definitely not making moves like they want to lose games. So we'll see how it all turns out. We got a bunch of super chats to get through. Appreciate you guys. Alonzo said, y'all are spicier this year, and I think it's because you guys can see a real path to the playoffs and maybe beyond. Also, Jason, 6.5 numbers, midget. We're spicier because most of the season last year we were just awful. Like, what are we going to debate about? Like, if Mac Jones is going to put up more points than Jordan Love, or actually he didn't play that game, but I
And
don't know. It
to
was
our
bad last
credit,
year.
we were still doing shows.
We were.
A lot of content creators drop off when teams are bad, like myself. So the fact that we did shows every week, I think should give us a little bit of credit, if you ask me.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
We kept it going.
Shout out to Shane. Mel Tucker wouldn't even be in that fight because he'd be okay.
Next. Thank you, Shane.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Okay, but B News says Doug Peterson was made by Andy Reid, and his offense was Frank Reich addition by subtraction.
Well, let's be real. Like Frank Reich was awful after he left Doug Peterson too. So, I mean, he had like one good year in Indy, and then it fell apart there, and then it was a total dumpster fire.
Who from
in
the
Carolina.
Andy Reid tree actually did good, right?
Press Taylor. Who are we kidding? That's the secret ingredient. Press Taylor.
Matt Nagy flamed out. Obviously, Doug Peterson, he seems like very fluky.
There's actually a lot of guys that have come from the Reed / Holmgren tree that did well, but it's like some defensive guys, like not the guys you would think, like not the offensive.
Well, name me one. I can't think of anybody.
There's a lot of coaches that have been on the defensive staffs under Andy Reid that ended up being really good. I have to go back and look here if you want me to go down that rabbit hole.
Isn't his old OC? Whatever happened to his old OC? He was in. Who was it? You guys know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The OC for Kansas City for a long time, who could never get a coaching job.
Oh, Bieniemy. Bieniemy's in college, right? No. He's with the Bears. I thought Eric Bieniemy was the guy, but Eric Bieniemy's he's been at weird places. But he was the one that kept getting interviews, but can never. Yeah, Bieniemy's a Bears running back. No, running back coach for the Bears right now. Jeez, that's a fall from grace.
Yeah, I think it was Bieniemy. You're right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So like you go back to 2005, right? Okay. Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff. Jim Johnson, defensive coordinator. Steve Spagnuolo, linebackers coach.
Well, yeah, he's turned into some, but he's not.
Sean McDermott, safeties coach. Special teams coordinator, John Harbaugh. Okay. It's just the offensive guys that haven't really worked out that came from Andy Reid.
Yeah, I just don't see like, John Harbaugh, Andy Reid disciple, But I mean, it just depends on your definition.
He comes from the tree.
It's not like Sean McVay where he's just pumping out like these crazy offensive coaches that are changing the game of football.
We've never seen anything like the Sean McVay tree.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Mike Shanahan tree, really, but
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the Urban Meyer tree. Brian Schottenheimer, head coach of the Cowboys. Interesting one there.
Aaron
Dan
Hernandez, head coach of Heaven's Angels.
Okay, moving on from that. Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
He was a Gator.
Well, that's who he was.
Also, the Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator.
I don't know why my Siri just went off. She's scared to.
He was working under Urban Meyer in Jacksonville.
You make great points, Jordan. You make great points. Also, interim head coach. I don't know. I don't even remember his name. Who was the OC that year? He's such an afterthought.
He was with the Seahawks.
Dolphins.
Bevel.
Bevel. Yeah, Bevel.
Darrell Bevel.
Yeah,
interim head coach Darrell Bevel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but okay. We'll move on from that. But yeah, guys, this is a good show. We got a lot of super chats. We're excited for the season. What is it now? Like 18 days away, I think. It's 18 days, I think, right now is the countdown. So, I mean, it's getting real. One more preseason game. I know this game is going to be a drag. It's going to be a lot of just backup. So I imagine tomorrow. I mean, Jordan, what are you expecting out of practice tomorrow? You think it's just going to be heavy 11-on-11 work, getting some real big scrimmaging in before as kind of like a final big test?
That's what Liam Cohen is hoping for. He's not sure because, the Dolphins have already had multiple joint practices with other teams. So don't know exactly. It's still kind of hopefully at this point it's not up in the air, but it was up in the air as of yesterday. I don't know. I haven't received any updates
I
regarding
mean, I know he
that,
was
so.
in constant communication with Mike Tomlin before Week 1's game.
Yeah, he was in less communication than I think he was hoping for.
Yeah,
With Mike Tomlin.
like. Yeah.
But I think that the goal is to have a big time day tomorrow of work, whether that's like heavy, full pads, whatever. It's got to be full pads. And then Liam Cohen has not said whether or not starters will be playing Saturday. My hope would be that they're not. I think it's time to get ready for week 1.
Yeah. I agree. What's it called? I'll do the last couple of super chats. Want to be able to make sure you guys are all read for generously donating these fat stacks to Club Jaguar to keep these lights on over here. He says, should we trade for Jameis? Mullins really ain't it. I don't know. What do you think, Jordan? You gonna trade?
Yes.
Make a trade?
Yes.
I mean, I don't like Mullins, man. To think that Mullins could potentially like float you, I just don't see it. I mean, even Carson Wentz, I would rather sign Carson Wentz tomorrow than have
I would not.
Mullins my QB2. I would.
I wouldn't.
I mean, they have a history with Mullins, right? That has got to be it. Like they have history with.
They also have a history of when QB1 goes down of adding someone else to replace Nick Mullins as QB2. So I would not be surprised if quarterback goes down, if there's a move made. But yeah, I mean, I would much rather have Jameis here. I mean, I love Jameis.
That would be a lot of fun. That would be fun.
I can just see him throwing deep balls to Travis and BTJ all day.
That would probably not be good for Trevor, if you know what I mean. Jameis comes in here.
He's going to go 30 for 30 again.
Completely different leadership styles. Trevor and
They're
Jameis.
Way different personalities.
I don't think that would be good for Trevor. I would love Jameis. I'm with Jordan. I love Jameis. But I think that would be the worst thing for Trevor is a guy in Trevor who's already having a hard time commanding a room with a guy who naturally commands a room. I think that would probably be a bad combo.
I mean, if that breaks Trevor, then we got whole other issues going on here.
I don't think it would be an issue. I think it would be a lot of fun. Yeah. And now that's assuming that this coaching staff believes in like the way he handles himself, which I have no idea.
Okay. So Ryan Dotson, last super chat in here says, Richardson hasn't been a good quarterback since high school, and Press Taylor isn't going to get anything out of him. Well, Press Taylor's with the Bears right now. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Press Taylor will not get anything out of him this year.
Good point.
Unless the Bears play the Colts, in which case he may.
Maybe there's, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be any kind of movement with Anthony Richardson. I wouldn't mind bringing Anthony Richardson in as a tight end. But
okay.
I'm just joking. He's not in his Tim Tebow era yet. Okay. It's gonna
I also don't think he would hold up at tight end. I mean, injury wise.
Yeah, that's true. But all right, guys, we're working overtime. We are going to get out of here. Appreciate all you guys for joining. Also, guys, drop likes and everything. And we got to give shout outs to everybody in here. We'll go with Jason. Jason did an awesome film breakdown last night. Film breakdowns every Tuesday now, right, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, we got 2 in a row, so we'll call it a trend for sure. Tuesday nights, we break down the film. Had a good time last night. I think the shows are averaging like an hour and 40 minutes, so feel free to, clear out your calendar on Tuesday nights and come watch some Jaguars football.
It's good stuff. And speaking of on a hot streak, Jordan is posting content like his hair is on fire. So Jordan, let us know what you got coming up on the Gen Jag YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll have some sort of I'm not going to be there in Miami for obvious reasons.
Well, you sent your wife there for you.
Yeah, Kara's going to be boots on the ground reporting. She's going to be taking over the Jordan DeLugo Twitter tomorrow. She'll be live tweeting. So
I'm sure.
But yeah, I'll be paying attention to everything going on and have some sort of update after practice, and then be getting ready for whatever preseason week 3 has in store. Not really sure yet.
Yeah, absolutely. But it'll be fun. Last preseason game Saturday, also a key date. This time next week we'll have 53 players on the roster. On Tuesday at 4 p.m. Roster cut breakdowns go from 90 to 53. So we'll be back here next Wednesday to break it all down as the countdown to the Jaguars' first game against the Carolina Panthers really begins. So it's going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait. I know you guys can't wait. Jason is very excited for 6-11. Is what we hear. So
I'm with Vegas 6.5 actually.
6.5. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's excited for 6.5.
Yeah,
That'll be.
yeah.
We already got a tie, so we know how it goes.
6.5. 6.5. Yeah.
We got our practice in for the ties this weekend.
You're right. We're a tie team. We'll have a tie this year.
Yeah, it's great.
Never before.
Great situational stuff going on there. So
They never
All right,
had
guys.
a tie before.
yeah. All right, guys. You guys be easy. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, and go Jags.